we're about to dive into some AI wizardry that Max has been cooking up for us internally.
Let's go. I need that. Max is a wizard.
All right. So what I'm gonna share is like I'm gonna start with the back end of Go High Level of like how I set up the entire client fulfillment from the moment we have the call to the point of sale to onboarding the client and managing all the fulfillment for the client. And then I will get into how we use AI to generate all the copy. And now what I'm playing around with at the end, which is the most exciting things to be honest, on literally how to have AI do whatever you want. You set up the instructions on what you want it to do, and it's going to find the solution and refine itself until it figures out the solution and even improve itself to go faster and find a better solution that costs less money or whatever that is, whatever the case you're trying to do. So let me share my screen. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into our GHL. So basically what we have here is going to be, let me just put you guys down here so I can see you. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go straight to the client. So basically the way I organized our GHL is we have the leads, we have the calls, and then we have the clients. So maybe we have the same calls for the hybrid and the agency, and we have a different call for the mastermind. And here, this is where everyone goes, where we have all the reminders for everyone. So all the calls come here. We have the confirmation 24-hour before, 12-hour before, 1 hour before, 10 minutes before. And then at the moment of the call, this is one that is pretty important. For all the calls, we're going to send an email asking the person taking the call to the assigned user if the lead showed or if the call showed or no showed. And with a click of a button, we're going to move them from call booked to either call showed or either call no showed. So that prevents your team to always get into GHL and automatically manually update the pipeline. Now your pipeline is going to be always updated. And if they don't click on the link, which I found a lot of time your salespeople don't click on the link, the next day, if they didn't click, they're going to keep receiving the email until they click on the link. So this way we always have the pipeline updated. Now when they, for example, for the agency, when we said that the person showed, we're then going to ask what was the outcome of the call. So let me show you what that looks like. So I simplified ours to we enrolled the client, which is what we want most of the time. And this leads us to the point of sale. So that's going to redirect us to the contact in GHL to make the point of sale, which I'm going to go over in a second. Then we have offer no sale. So that the lead was qualified, but for any reason it didn't close. We didn't make an offer because the lead was not qualified, or we have a second call and we're still working on the leads. And once again, when we click on this is automatically going to be moving people through the pipeline. And let's say you made an offer, but you didn't make a sale. Now you can add them to a follow-up sequence to keep nurturing them and eventually close them later down the road. So once you have a client, it's going to come here to the onboarding experience. So I'm just going to go over for the hybrid and show you guys how it works. But basically what I've done is I duplicated this for each product that we have. So we have the hybrid, the agency, and the mastermind. So whenever we have a client, we submit the point of sale. And this is where we're going to say, this is the offer that has been sold, and the payment that has been made. Let me show you the form that we have in the contacts. For example, this guy. So I turned on the new look in here, but we have the point of sale here, and we can say paid in full, 2 pay, 3 pay, 4 pay, 6 pay, 12 pay. That covers all the payments. Then which offer it was, hybrid, for example, paid in full, close date is going to be today, cash collected, total contracted revenue, the billing notes, delivery notes. If there was a seller, a closer was going to be the account manager on this. If it's an hybrid, it's me. If it's a agency, it's Wayne. If it's a mastermind, it's Brian. Deal source and the platform where they found us to make a sale. So basically, when we save this, it's going to go to the proper automation in here. So if we say we closed an hybrid client paid in full, this is going to come to this automation in here, and we add them to the client management, which I'm going to get into in a second. We send the data back to Facebook saying this is the cash that we have collected. So we send the amount to Facebook. And then we have internal notification to the team via email, internal notification to the team via Slack, and we send a welcome email to the client. Then we have an NA10 automation that automatically creates the Google Drive folder, updates the client in GHL, and creates the Slack channel with the Google Drive pinned, with the welcome message, and their client ID, where to find all of the information. So this is what it looks like. We have the webhook. If they are already a client, we don't assign a new ID to them. The ID is already in the contact. So if I go back to this guy here, we would have additional information. We would have the Google Drive folder for the client. And we would have, where did I put the client ID? Client ID is going to be here. And that's for us to use, and that's for the client to use. So when they join, they know their client ID is a specific ID, so we can always reference that later down the road. That's what it does. We also have a custom value in GHL to here count the number of clients that we have. So 444 this far. And then this is going to be incremented every new client that we get. We add the count, then we create the Google Drive folder with the client number and the client name. We share access with them. We share access to the public so everyone can have access to this. And then we create the folder structure in the Google Drive folder for the client. So we have a call folder, we have a scripts folder, images, videos, and then we duplicate our template. So we have the offer worksheet, we have the launch checklist, we have the funnel tracking sheet, and we have the sales tracking sheet when we run ads for them. And finally, when we have the Google Drive folder, we have the client ID, we go back and edit GHL with this information so we can find the client ID here, and we can find the Google Drive folder all in one place. So when we come here, we just, whether we are in GHL or Slack, we can find all of the information and go back to the folder where everything is shared. And then when we have the Google Drive folder and the client ID, now we create the Slack channel. We invite the client automatically to the Slack channel, send the welcome message. We pin the welcome message so they have access to the onboarding page, their client ID, their Google Drive folder. And then we bookmark automatically the Google Drive folder on the top of the Slack channel. So you have literally nothing to do, and the client has access to everything in one place. What we are doing as well that I'm figuring out after this is we have a Canva in Slack with the complete checklist that we need to go over with like check boxes. So now we're going to pin that at the top of the channel. So instead of having a Google Sheet, now everything is happening in Slack, and the client knows in one place what has been done, what needs to be done next, what they need to do, what we are doing, all in one place. So
Is that helpful for you guys?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So what I'm going to show you now is also like, if you have one admin person on your team, this completely replaces this person. I showed you this. The end of that is we create the Google Drive folder, we create the Slack channel, updates all of the information in GHL, and so we can fill this out whenever we want. We don't rely on when the client pays, when the client signs the contract. Like, we are in control. When we want to give client access, we can also invite them to school. We can literally do whatever we want in NA10 there. So then we have this automation when we receive the payment from the client to automatically send the contract. So we have different products inside here. So we have the products, and then we have the hybrid, we have the agency, we have the mastermind, and we have the different payment plans in here. When someone pays for any product for the hybrid, they come to this page. We tag them as a hybrid client, which is what we are using in here to know if they need a Slack channel or not. If they are like a course client or whatever, we don't create a Slack channel because it's just not part of the offer. Immediately as they pay, we send them the contract. So we have one for the hybrid, we have one for the mastermind, and we have one for the agency in here. So based on the product that they buy, whether it's the hybrid, the mastermind, or the agency, we send the right contract and we move them to payment received. As they keep moving, they sign the contract. Now these automations are pretty much all the same. We tag them, we remove them from the previous step, and we move them to the next step in the pipeline. So we have a sales pipeline and we also have a client pipeline. So when they become a client, we have different stage on the pipeline. We have payment received, contract signed, onboarding survey submitted, onboarding call booked, completed. We have the pre-launch call. When we launch them, this is where we trigger everything on the back end to have them book their 1 week call, 2 week call, 1 month call, 2 months call, and 3 months call. And I'm going to show you how it works right now. So these ones are exactly the same as the other ones. They fill out the onboarding form on the onboarding page. Let me show you what that looks like. Spend.com. Now we have a specific funnel for this onboarding pages. We have the hybrid. I'm going to keep on the same example. So we have step 1, onboarding for the hybrid. How to access Slack. We show them they got an email to get access to Slack because we just send them with the automation. Then they need to fill out the onboarding form. So their full name, blah, blah, blah. They fill this out and then they are redirected to the next page, which is where we are sending them to Leadsy. So this is where they can connect their Facebook ads account with the pixel, the page, the Instagram account, the domain, everything we need in one click. Then we have Google Ads account, Tag Manager, the YouTube channel, GoDaddy if they're using GoDaddy. And then once they gave us all of this, so it removes all the back and forth or like filling out the form with what is your login, what is your password. They just have like buttons to click. And now we have access to Meta, Google, YouTube, and their domain if we need to do any updates.
Yeah, this was major tax for finding this.
So when they click on next, they go to the call, which is the last step. Now they can book their onboarding call. And this is the last step of the funnel. And then we have the thank you page where we just say, thank you, add the call to your calendar. Let me show you what that looks like. Very simple page where we just say, thank you for joining. You're all set. Here's how to add to your calendar and basically see you on the onboarding call. So when that is all done, in the meantime, what we've done when we submit the point of sale, there is this automation where we add them to the client management. So this is another automation here. We add them to the client management automation. And the client management automation just looks like this. We add them here. We wait for next Monday. We start week 1 of the program. Every 7 days, we add 1 week. And because I own this offer, I send myself a message that this contact has just started week number 1, 2, 3, 4, up until 12. And this is a great opportunity to provide guidance. And we have like some more details, the offer sold, the close date, the week of the coaching that they're in. So every week I'm going to know that this person joined at this date. And I know that first week is like launching the ad. So we need to have the call. If this is week 4, week 8, and week 12, we automatically send a client feedback survey. So it's been X amount of weeks that you joined the program. We want to know what's working well for you, how to best support you, and where we might need to make some adjustments. So click the link, complete the survey, and all of this data is just added to the client profile. And then we have an automation to send the data to Slack as well. So that allows us to be proactive instead of reactive when we have a new client. So each week we know on which week each client is. I created calendars specifically for each offer. So now what we have on the back end is for the delivery, we have the pre-launch call, and then we have the post-launch calls. So this one we only have one, and this one we have four or five of these calls. So the way I automated this, when we go to the client, we have the pre-launch call here, very simple, like the others. We just move them to the correct pipeline stage, we tag them, and that's all we do. So this is the pre-launch call. Now, when we move the client in the pipeline, or when I say that the client has launched, so we either change the launch date manually, we go to the client contact, we change the launch date to today, or we move them to the pipeline stage launched. This is where really the fulfillment process happens. We tag them, we set the launch for today, we wait for 1 day, and we send them an email immediately to book the 7-day call post launch, so we can review the results 1 week from now with them on a call. We send ourselves a notification, post launch email, week 1, the client name, the company, the launch date. We send them the booking link. If they don't book in 24 hours, we have the exact message to send for them to book the call. So not only they have the email to book the call, but we also are going to follow up with them with the exact message. So we copy paste, book the call, and then we move on. And then when you've done it, we ask the person to react to show that they've done it. And every week we repeat the same process. So based on your offer, the way your offer is designed, you're going to wait a specific amount of time. So if you want to reach out to your clients every week, this is what you do. So for us, we reach out the first week, the second week, then before month 1, before month 2, before month 3, and then this is the end of the traditional fulfillment for this offer. And then this is the post-launch call. So I only have one calendar for the post-launch call. And just to track how many post-launch call they have booked, I have this automation to move them to the right stage. So if this is the first launch call that they've booked, we move them to the first opportunity, and then we move them 4, 5 as we go. And then this is the client feedback survey. We send this data to Slack, and then we also add the data into their contact profile. So we add the survey note to the contact. So it's going to be on the right side of the contact to be able to view every time we have the client feedback. That covers the way GHL is built. I only showed you for the hybrid, but agency is pretty much the same. And so this one is month to month. So every month we're going to ask the client on a call. And then the mastermind is the same. It's very, like, it's much simpler as well. But every month we're going to have an automation moving people through the different stage. Notify Brian, it's been month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, up until month 12 that this client joined. And now 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, we ask the client feedback on what they like, what they don't like, what we could improve, and basically give us feedback at every step of the way to make the product better directly from the clients.
So have you got your training in Go High Level now? Because you said that it triggers when they start the program, or is it triggered from school when they start training?
No, everything is triggered from the point of sale. So as soon as we have a client, we tell Go High Level we have a new client, and this is where everything is triggered from. So
Okay.
we don't have the training in Go High Level. Everything is on school, but we track from either like the moment we have a client and we fill out the point of sale, or the date of the launch. So when we launch the ads for a client, we move them from pre-launch call to launched, and when we move the client, this is the trigger to start the entire fulfillment process. So this is a little bit more advanced. Claude Code is a coding platform, so you need to have like an entire like project on this. And basically I have like, this is like a playground thing where I do things with ads, content, GHL. So you can basically, the way it works is you have instructions on what you want the AI to do, and then you have the executions. So I'm going to give you an example for the ads. I'm into the instructions folder. So this is more advanced, but it's magical the way it works. So I'm going to tell him like, this is a SOP to generate different ad variation for Andromeda. So we all know we need like 15 new creatives pretty much every week, 50 creatives a month, to be able to reduce the CPMs on Facebook with the latest update. So what I did here is I created a prompt that gets an image and the client name and like creates different variations. So when we launch clients on Facebook, we have already done images. And basically, let me see if I have them. The fluency formula. So for this entire prompt, I will show you the prompt, but it generated like 7 different images of the client, which is a language teacher and happens to have a Asian girlfriend, which he generated based on what he thought she looked like. And so we have like different images generated. I didn't have to do anything. So I will show you the conversation if I can find it. What if I did a demo instead? So let's just go to Harvey. What's your Instagram?
Harvey Growth Properties, GROWTH.
Harvey Growth Property.
IES, sorry, properties.
All right. Now I have your Instagram. So I'm going to type a simple prompt. And so please extract the profile picture from Harvey from his Instagram here and generate one ad image using Nano Banana Pro or Facebook ads.
So is this outside the Claude? This is separate from Claude. This is called Claude Develop. Is this?
Yeah, this is Claude Code, as you can see here.
Sorry, not Develop. Yeah.
And basically what I have a prompt to set. So the way it works is we have like specific instructions on what it needs to do. So this is the ID framework that it follows. So you have the instructions, then you have AI, and then you have the execution. The instructions are basically like SOPs. The AI reads the instructions, make the decision, and runs the execution. It also writes the execution. The executions are code that it wrote, and it keeps improving over time to execute on a specific task. Okay. Right. So basically, you write the instruction, you tell it what to do, it figures out how to do it, writes the code, execute the code, and improves the code on how to do what you want to do.
And you can use other models within inside this as well then. So you can just direct it directly to use your GPT or Nano Banana.
No,
or-
you can just use Claude, and then you can connect it to different platforms. So one platform that I connected it to is key.ai, and this is what I use to get all the video API, image API. So I have access to Nano Banana here to generate image variations from an image that already exists. So now what it's going to do, it's going to find your Instagram profile URL. It's going to send it to Nano Banana, and it's going to create a new image. I'm working on building like a video image as well. We're working on building it as well with the developer for AdSpan AI on how to generate all of these videos automatically. So we can use that and create a script and then use this platform to generate the video ads for clients. So we don't have to wait for clients to record ads and 15 ads every single week. We can test hooks variations and call to action variations and put the client in different environments and test different creatives without having to ask or wait for the client or like have any video editors or these kind of things. So I'm going to run this. And basically, I connected it to different platforms on the background. And the way you connect it to these different platforms is, first of all, when you create the instruction, you say, create me instructions on whatever you want to do. Finding properties in Southwest London for sale, for example. I don't know, like very generic prompt. And then it's going to find the scraper to make it happen. It's going to ask you to put your API key to connect to the scraper. And then it's going to do the research. It's going to analyze the results for the research and make sure that these properties are for sale, are in the right area. And then basically write the entire code to make it happen over and over and over. And if you want it to go faster, you can ask it to go faster.
And can you put this running behind on like say if I build my own interface, like you built an interface for, can you plug this into the back of AdSpan AI kind of thing?
Yes, you can, but it's not. This is more like for utilization, like I'm showing you right now. You have a client, you want to create like ads. It's basically like having a super intelligent assistant on your computer, and you ask it to do whatever you do. You can host all of the instructions in the cloud and have N8N or like any automation platform to execute these scripts to not always like if you are on your phone and you want to execute a task or like reach out to a client or like whatever you want to the execution to do, you can host it in the web so you can have access outside of your computer. But the goal here is to have it do the work that you would usually do and spend a bunch of time on and like save a lot of time on
That's what my
repetitive.
thought process is about putting an interface on it. If I can, at the moment, one of the things we train my clients is to use like web scrapers like Octopus or Browse.ai, and we then gather the details. It does, it just goes on Gumtree, looks on Rightmove, all these portals for properties. It then gathers some information, puts it onto a spreadsheet. But it sounds very similar. What I'm toying on doing is just creating interfaces because it's quite clunky. You still need to go in there, set it up. So if you can create an interface over the top of it,
Yeah,
it's very much more user friendly, where it prompts and operates this is in the background. That was where my thought process was going.
yeah. I mean, you absolutely can. Now you have like Replit agents. So that's how I built the 0.1 of AdSpan AI. You come here and you ask it to do like literally whatever you want it to do. Build an interface.
Yeah, it's like Lovable and like what's the name, isn't it? Yeah.
And then you can ask it to connect this to like the scripts that you have online. And then now you have like a beautiful interface with login and these kind of things on to do whatever you want it to do. And you can potentially turn this into a SaaS, but like it's there is a lot more complexities that come with building a SaaS. So yeah, so now you can see what it's doing. Went to your Instagram, got the profile picture, and it reads the so we have this. So we have the instructions here, generate ads variation. So we tell it exactly what to do. Execution, you use this generate ad variations. Like you don't need to know to code, but basically it tells it everything it needs to do, where to find the API key, all of these things. And I've not done anything. I just typed, this is what I want to happen. Go ahead and make it happen. And now in the executions, this is where it just generates the thing. So we have the API key. It's going to connect to key API, which is the platform that I showed you to generate the images and video ads. And then you have the like prompts to create different variations. And then this is all code that you don't need to understand to basically like generate the thing, and then ask if the generation is done. And if it's done, generate the image variation. Like you have like I didn't type anything. You don't need to know how it works. You just ask it to do something. It just writes all the code for you. And execute solves its own problems and can get better and better and better and better over time as you keep using this entire thing. So that's when, Sam Altman, the founder of Adsman AI, said, like, you can have $1 billion company with a solo founder. This is how you do it. Have AI write all the codes, execute all the code, and you sit back and you do what's most important.
It's wild, isn't it? Absolutely wild. And the pace this is all changing at is unbelievable. But yeah, cool. Really exciting. But yeah, really good stuff, Max. Really valuable.
This was fun. This is super. I might just post this, Max, in like the community.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, everybody,
I didn't share any personal information or API keys or anything, so it's free.
It'd be super valuable for them just to see it, and then we'll remind the Mastermind members. But I think it's a great video because it just shows them everything.
Yeah, and it's with this thing that I showed you, literally you can just write instructions, tell it what you want to do, and it's gonna write it for you. It writes the code, executes the code, refines the code, and just the more you use it, which is the thing, the more you use it, the better it gets. The sky is the limit now.
Yeah. Anything is possible, eh, Max?
Exactly.
Yes, I love it.